Hello everyone, and welcome to another session of Salliekat live streams Avernum. I am actually back in the town of Silvar now, because I wanted to do a little something with Gytha and Andrew. So Gytha has spent the night with Andrew and learned a few things, like Barter, Pathfinder, and Resistance. Now Resistance will come in handy because, by adopting Andrew and changing his name and character graphic, I have lost my nimble fingers and toughness attributes. Oh well. But with 16 tool use, I hardly need the nimble fingers. And also, while I'm in Silvar, there's a couple more things I can do. For one, there's the Nephilim outpost that I haven't actually dealt with. I think last time I was in Silvar I was low enough level I would have gotten my butt kicked. But also, if we talk to the barkeep, we can tell him, hey, I found a hot spring. Excellent, thank you for your help. In return for your services, here's 100 gold. He pays you, and treats you to a round of mushroom beer as well. Hopefully one day I'll have a resort there, providing expensive services to all Avernites. Hey Zach, thank you. Ooh, so I get 100 coins and another reputation point, and Magrat is now level 11. Cool. So if we get into the cow pen here, talking to the cows doesn't do anything interesting. But there's a secret passage. You see shapes ahead, lurking in the ever-present shadows. You try to back away unnoticed, but they smell you. They're Nephilim spies. Nephilim were a common pest on the surface, until the Empire started to wipe them out. Most of them were killed, but some were dumped into Avernum. Now they're your problem. Oh no, slowed. Hey there, Garnet. Garnet has been wandering around a little bit. I think I might, in fact, be tougher than these Nephilim now. Ah, thank you so much, Dawn Rider. Also, I've spent some time off-screen bumping Magrat's priest spells level, so Smite is actually kind of okay now. Also, in changing up character graphics, I decided to have a little fun with Gytha and give her the Chainmail Bikini Warrior sprite. Yeah, Avernum 4 remake could be interesting, and almost certainly will be better than the first version of that game. That is by far my least favorite of the Avernums, but it is still a Spiderweb game, so it's still pretty decent. Esme is kind of a force of massive destruction right now. Pants, shirt, boots. Ooh, steel arrows, that's pretty good. And some loot. And I can actually tell Carol we killed some Nephilim hiding behind your store. Oh, thank you. I'll be so much less worried now. I think. But then, if there were some Nephilim back there before, there could be more later, couldn't there? Oh dear, I'm more worried than ever now. She shakes her head sadly. Aw. But actually, that's a pretty good justification for why the rest of her dialogue never changes. Yeah, that's true. Between Exile, Avernum, and Avernum remakes, there's a few flavors of underground dungeon crawling available. Yeah, I do have steel small shields for everyone. That's it for Silvar. And while I'm in this corner of the caves, I'm gonna trek back to the Bat Cave and see if I can clean up one or two things I missed. Not a lot of respawns. That's good. Ah. I dropped a javelin there ages ago. Okay, there's a room there that I would have to step on lava to get to. Okay, that is where there's a spell. Oh, nuts. I thought I could cheat a little and get high-level Divine Fire here, but I need to learn it at least level 1 before I can learn it at level 3. Darn it. Yeah, Geneforge is great. I've played Avedon 1 and about half of Avedon 2. Avedon is pretty good, but it just doesn't hit quite as well as Avernum and Geneforge for me. I think Avedon tends to be a little bit more cynical than the Avernum universe. Okay, so was not able to get the spell in the Batcave yet. Disappointing. Maybe I should go down to the Tower of Magi and see if I can pick up more priest spells there. Directions to Tower of Magi, Great Cave, and Castle. Aha! The gate leading to the village of Murtis is blocked by several large, well-armed guards. They stop you. "Hold on there, friends," one of them says. "We have to be careful about strangers here. You'll have to tell us your names before you can pass. Come on, we don't have all day." "Thanks for cooperating. We need to keep track of who's going where." They step off the path. "One more warning. Murtis has been troubled by undead for the last few months. Be wary. We don't know where the evil creatures came from, but they're quite dangerous." Giant natural spring bubbles out of the ground here, feeding the large lake to the south. This is clearly a fertile area. Large, yummy-looking mushrooms grow all over, grazed upon by pallid cave cows. Large pale fish frolic in the lake. Yet the air has an unusual chill to it, and you can hear a strange, inhuman howl in the distance. Though this is a pleasant area, there is a distinct, hostile presence nearby. Honeycomb is to the west. Oh, look, a ghoul. You see a group of horrible undead creatures. They're wandering along the paths around Murtis, seemingly looking for prey. They are slow and clumsy and seem somewhat confused. You could evade them easily, but then they could continue to wander and do harm. Or you could attack them and try to rid Murtis of this menace. I do kind of like the double-headed spear that this character graphic gets. I also like having multiple casts of Turn Undead. Yep. Spellcaster supremacy. Though this was no doubt a very helpful deed, you fear that there are sure to be more undead on the way. And I think those guards would have said basically the same thing as the ones at the north end of the cave. Well, let's pop into Murtis. Church of the All-Knowing Goodness. All welcome. You meet a noble-looking woman in long, flowing robes. She wears a wooden ankh. Yes, my children, I serve this village as best I can. I provide much more healing than I should have to. I helped fight the undead on occasion. I wish I could rely on my good works more and my spells less. Tell me, what do you know of this village? Only that this is the only settlement between the northern cities and the Great Cave. She corrects herself. No, the Tower of Magi is to the south, but they set themselves apart. I don't know much. All the most skilled enchanters and priests in Avernum either live there or go there at some point, but they're very secretive. I'm sure they would see adventurers like you, though. How do you get there? Head south and read the signs. It's hard to miss. Undead appear in the grim cavern and come out to raise havoc. We really don't know what makes them appear. They aren't a terrible threat anymore, but once they were a horror to behold. You only know a few spells, then? Yes, I'm a spellcaster of small skill. I would love to teach you some of them, but I can't. You'd have much better luck in the Tower of Magi to the south. My above-ground magical training was limited, I'm afraid. I was nobility, you see. I would be still, but a minor power struggle landed me here. Sometimes, I do know a few secrets. I don't usually give them away, though. Actually, you could be of use to me. I need some energetic herbs. Bring them to me, and I'll pay you. Ah. She takes my energetic herbs and gives me a potion in return. Thanks for your help. Now I could also use some toadstools. Bring me some nice specimens, and I'll reward you. I will have to remember that. I don't think I have any toadstools. I've got spiritual, energetic, healing herbs, mandrake. No toadstools. Phooey. Hey, did she just give me an invulnerability potion? What? And can't look at the thing on the pedestal. And I can find this guy hiding back here. He's hiding. And has a friend named Eldon, who is in Darman last he knows, and sure doesn't want to see him again. Alas, I cannot break the game and ask him about any brooches or living statues or anything. Not in this engine. I like how in addition to the silos, we get some grain bags and this grindy mortar looking thing here. Helps add to the atmosphere of the area. That's one thing that Avernum does very well, is adding a few more of those little details that bring the world to life. Adventurers needed. Apply at the castle. Town mill. Free for all to use. Nice. This was not here in the original game. Also, this is a beehive oven, and sometimes if you look in these, you can find a bread. The rest of the building is the town market. Terry, what sort of things do you sell? Farm supplies mostly, stuff for merchant caravans too. Caravans haul shrooms and preserved meat to the Great Cave. Takes a lot of supplies. Luckily, the lizards down here are big and strong enough to pull a wagon. Business has been good. Food's cheap here. If you need to buy rations, let me know. Yes, when you declaw them, and defang them, and never forget that they're nasty and violent creatures. So we can buy... bleh. We can buy dried meat, lizard haunch... Yeah, she said food is cheap here, and yet prices are exorbitant. Might actually buy a few more javelins. Basically nothing else I want. Cheap for them, not for you. Yeah, Sometimes we joke about people having to pay their adventurer tax when I loot them, but I also have to pay the adventurer tax of the merchants. Okay. What kind of stuff can I buy from you? Armor. Lots of demand with the undead. Also, do you know the woman in the next booth? You keep running over to help her. A broad smile appears on his face. I should say so. She's my wife and we're expecting. Congratulations. And the armor in Murtis is pretty low quality. Matt's armor isn't very good. All the quality goods were bought or shipped out long ago. Still, he's more than happy to sell you the dregs. And meanwhile, his wife Tina, I believe, sells weapons. I run this half the market with my husband Matt. You can purchase armor from him and weapons from me. I recommend our fine spears. They'll keep the zombies well away. What zombies? Where? Plenty of those outside town. They appear and come out of the west. They used to attack the farms, but we got good at butchering them. Now they stay away unless we leave town. Then they mob us. Were you and Matt thrown into Avernum together? No, he was already living here when I arrived. I was lost and confused, and he helped me out. And one thing led to another, and then to another, and, well, she looks down at her bulging stomach. And the weapons are also very poor quality. Everything decent must have been sold to the locals to defend themselves. This open area is filled with giant lizards, all of them chained to large rocks on the ground. They've all been declawed and defanged. They're waiting here to be hitched up to stone sleds by the merchants. Traders run everywhere, loading and unloading goods and trying to avoid getting chewed on by the lizards. They're a pale, rough, scarred lot, battle-hardened by many trips back and forth across Avernum. Yeah, since this engine uses hidden triggers instead of the special dot, sometimes I get a little taken by surprise when I step on one. You see the bartender. We killed a bunch of undead on the road outside. Know anything about that? Thanks for helping, but alas, they will be replaced. There's some sort of curse on the area. Evil undead keep appearing. We don't know why. Undead curse, huh? Hey, I just run hotels. Though someone passing through said he saw a bunch of skeletons walking out of a cave to the northeast. Thanks for your help. We'll solve the problem. We're brave adventurers. You and hundreds of others. More power to you, I guess. I love Jeff Vogel's snarky sense of humor. I run the Murda's Arms, finest inn in Avernum. We serve merchants, travelers, and farmers alike with the best drinks and the best rooms. Let me know if you need help. Sure thing, stranger. A fine meal is 3 coins, and the most luxurious room you'll find in Avernum is 15. Can't go wrong at the Murda's Arms. I'll try the finest meal in Avernum, then. You are brought thick, steaming slabs of lizard steak, and several mugs of some sort of wine. It's delicious. Steak, even if it is made of lizard. I wonder if giant lizard tastes anything like alligator. You see a stout, striking woman sitting at the bar. She's carrying, amazingly enough, a guitar. She looks at you as if you're nothing special. She doesn't say anything. She simply starts playing. A truly stunning torrent of song pours forth from her guitar. Then she pats it lovingly and looks back up at you. Nice sound. Why did you manage to find a guitar around here? She seems pleased you noticed. I made it. Only instrument of its kind down here. Took me a year. Would have been worth 10 years. And now I'm a minstrel. What's a minstrel do? I travel from town to town playing for folks. That's not so hard, as there aren't too many of them. I'm on my way to play for Motrax now. That'll be a first. He's a dragon. Lives to the north. Far to the north. And he likes humans. I'm looking to see what he would give someone who showed him what human music was like. Plus, I've never played for a dragon before. I bet nobody has. It would be a first. You know, I hear a dragon lives in the honeycomb, but I prefer an audience I know is friendly. It's a maze of twisting passages, all alike to the west. Be careful in there. Many have gotten lost in there. Not all of them came back out. Another dragon, huh? Legend tells that its name is Avernum, and it doesn't like visitors. And that's all I know. Skrillex MP3 to the dragon. Now that would be quite something. Can I talk to you? You're a soldier. Soldier sits dourly at the table. He says nothing. You sense he is less than pleased with your presence. I guess you're not in the mood to talk. He doesn't respond. Well, that was pointless. I wonder why that one gets special dialogue and all the other soldiers don't. A mage sits in the corner, working out equations on a sheet of vellum. Yes, I'm an apprentice mage at the Tower of Magi. I'm going to the library at Formalo to learn how to make a special sort of crystal. A piercing crystal, it's called. A long, thin blue crystal. You throw it at a magic barrier, and it dispels the field. I'm going to try to make one. A crystal, I mean, not a barrier. Ooh, sounds great. How do I get one? They're very rare items. We don't know how to make them. Yet they're one of the less powerful sorts of magic humans found when they arrived in Avernum. What do other crystals do? All sorts of things. The best and rarest variety is said to be able to teach skills to the people who stare into them. Permanently. Amazing if you ask me. I've never seen one, but I hear they're very valuable. Who made them? Nobody knows. They lived down here. They were intelligent. They were amazingly skilled at making crystals and enchanting them. And at this point, that is the extent of our knowledge. This room must be occupied, and luxurious rooms indeed. They even have bookshelves. This is the inn's kitchen. It is clean, well-equipped, and rodent-free, and filled with mouth-watering things. This inn is one of the nicest places you found anywhere in Avernum. And the cook doesn't want to talk to us. It's all very unappealing stuff, but it sustains life in Avernum, so you all have to live with it. Mushroom flower. Ah, rats! Mung rats, I've been diseased. Tough buggers. Ice Lenses just isn't as impressive as level 3 Firebolt. Oh, right, the disease. I need to do some curing. But at least one of the rats dropped a nice fur. And this is the auction house where livestock are bought and sold. You see a tall, wrinkled old man. He's carrying around a sheaf of papers. He's wearing a frayed purple sash. Sash means I'm the mayor. That's what it means. And since you lot are adventurers, there's something you can help us with. Oh, side quest. You may have heard that this town has been bothered by wandering undead for some time now. We aren't sure what's causing them to appear, but if you can stop them, we'll pay you 250 coins. We killed some undead who are wandering right outside. Can we get a reward? We're very thankful for your good deeds outside our city walls. Alas, we are not a wealthy village. For killing that particular group, we can only give our profound and heartfelt thanks. Fair. I run this auction house. What do you auction out here? Well, the farmers around here bring up cattle and lizards. Then they bring them here to be sold and taken north and west. Good deal all around. Okay then. That's pretty much it for Murtis. And another big difference between Exile and Avernum is that Avernum has more and more clearly marked roads. Warning, this area is under a level 4 ogre advisory warning. Oh no. Is it bad enough to close down the Waffle House? You're in a cleared-out area in the middle of a circle of large, twisted basalt pillars. Etched into the ground here is a huge pentacle. The ground around is blasted and burned, and a sulfur smell hangs thickly in the air. You find bits of herbs and spell components on the ground. Examining them, you would guess that some sort of powerful magical ritual took place here, perhaps 3 or 4 months ago. To do what? You have no idea. Spooky. Another difference between Exile and Avernum is I no longer have to navigate a maze to get to the Tower of Magi. But today I do have to fight some ogres. Need better spells for Magrat. I do kind of miss being able to pick up all of the gold in one go. Oh, right. Only the active person can pick stuff up in combat. Can't pick up swords, they're too heavy. You enter the Tower of Magi. This is the center of magical learning in Avernum, and thus incredibly important. The power here makes the difference between life and death for everyone down here. As a good fireball always does. Life for me and death for my enemies. Yet something is not right here. This place is imposing, sure. Yet there is also something strange here, something wrong. It's just a little bit too cold, and a little bit too shadowy, and you constantly feel like you're being watched. And considering how much magical power rests here, that's doubtless more than just paranoia. A young apprentice is staring into the pool. He looks very nervous. I'm an apprentice. I come to this pool often to contemplate. Too many things. My life, my lessons, and the things that are happening in this tower. If you knew the name of the thing we have brought here, perhaps I would share my contemplations with you. He looks sideways at you, as if waiting for some sort of response. What are you talking about? He looks even more nervous. Nothing important. I'm just meditating. He starts to whisper. Until you can name that which afflicts us, I can't trust you. Please leave me alone. Okay. Triad quarters. Also, apparently I can look at the pillars. You enter the Tower of Magi Gardens. These are for far more than just decoration. Plants are magically altered here to create hybrids useful in the harsh, dark environment of Avernum. Many of the strange plants which sustain life in Avernum were created here, such as the fungal trees, and the most useful strains of edible mushroom, and the stringy lichen used to create cloth and rope. If the Tower of Magi was nothing more than this room, its value to Avernum would still be incalculable. Flora Fauna Modification Lab. Limited breathing recommended. Yeah, you don't want to know what kind of pollen's in here. Also, magic barriers, which I currently have no way of dealing with. A young woman with short, dark hair sits at the desk, writing. Or she would if she were in front of a desk. Sometimes, characters walking around has funny interaction. Sometimes the dialogue and characters' freedom of movement don't quite match up. So we are talking to Linda, who is taking a break from research by walking in the gardens. The runes on her robe indicate that she is a person of great power. I am of the triad that controls the tower. The Tower of Magi is run by 3 mages. I control research. X is in charge of teaching. And one of us is absent. She gives you a truly ugly smile. Yes, one of the 3 is away. We don't know when he will be back. What are you researching? Many, many things. This is an ambitious time for the tower. A time of great and auspicious happenings. Right now, I'm trying to find information on the first expedition. Many years ago, when these caves were first found, the tyrants above sent down a variety of troops, led by a group of adventurers. These adventurers had a wide variety of magic items, several weapons, several peculiar items, and finally a scepter. They were all killed, to a man and woman, and the items were scattered, and we want them. We cannot yet reliably make magical weapons. That's why we want these so badly. There was an undead slaying spear, and a halberd with a blade of jade. And more importantly, there was the pike giant slayer, and greatest of all, the sword demon slayer. Demon slayer was shattered, alas. But if the pieces were found, it could be reforged. What about those peculiar items? There was a necklace which made a leader more persuasive. We found that. Someone up north owns it. There was Thralney's orb, which enables the user to fly. There was a blessed athame, A magical knife which could cut practically anything. It would be a great thing to find these items. She starts to stare up at the ceiling, ignoring you. Your presence is starting to make her uncomfortable. Okay, what about that onyx scepter? A strange and powerful item, usable only by the greatest of mages. I could say more about it, but I won't. Suffice it to say, this is a great and auspicious time for the tower. She smiles in a disturbingly shark-like way. I am sorry, but I have far greater things to concentrate on than helping wanderers like you. Okay, what about X? You said he does teaching. Yes, he may be of aid to you. He's around here somewhere. Well, thanks, that was helpful. Also, there's a cat. It's a kitty. Cat is in my way. Tower gardens. Please don't pick fruit. No walking on mushrooms. Before I waste too much time exploring. A cheery red-headed woman nods at you from behind the counter. I have a wide variety of powerful items available for purchase, all made by the mages of this tower. They're very skilled. They are quite skillful, if dour. I have some small skills in the magical realms, but I'm not in their league, and I can't say I mind. Lately, they've been looking as if they wish they... I can't talk. Lately, they've been looking as if they wish they weren't in their league either. She smiles and shrugs. None of my concern, of course. So, she sells potions and some scrolls. A recall crystal, which does what? I think a recall crystal helps cure dumbfounding. And some not terribly good wands. You I like. A tiny grinning man in ratty robes greets you. He is surrounded by an astonishing collection of items. Some mundane, some expensive looking, some utterly bizarre. I collect strange items from all parts of the caves and pass the savings on to you. Let me know if you want to buy something. Also, I have some skill for identifying items. Oh, he identifies for 5 coins. That's pretty cheap. So, Brantford's Miscellany. In Exile, he's a random item shop, and his inventory will refresh every so often, and he can sell all manner of things. In Avernum, he has a somewhat random assortment of stuff that does not refresh, as far as I can remember. Steel bolts are sort of good, but I don't have a crossbow yet. Anyway, I've got a whole bunch of great swords. Here, you deal with them. Steel greatsword. Oh, that's right. Oh, nuts. I think I just sold some arrows. Yeah, hi, can I buy those steel arrows back from you? Also, I lied. I do have a crossbow. It's just not a very good one. But yeah, so in Exile, we basically just got a big pile of gold for finding the mayor's necklace and also the crown token. In Avernum, she also gave me a flaming sword. This weapon is constantly covered with magical flame, which makes its blows do more damage. So Iron Longsword does 2 to 20. Flaming Sword does 2 to 20 plus 3 and also is on fire. That's a straight upgrade. And Magrat has a Steel Longsword. Assassin's Dagger. Yeah, I'll just sell that one. sure if I actually want to keep the steel greatsword at this point or just sell it off. On the one hand, two-handed damage does tend to be pretty good. On the other, I like having a shield to block blows. So I think right now I would rather have the gold. Talking to Xanthia. An ancient, hunched woman bustles behind a counter covered with alchemical equipment. She is busily measuring and mixing chemicals and looks quite unnerved by the process. She pauses from her work to look up at you. This is not my shop, I'm afraid. It belongs to Cortath. I can teach you some recipes if you want, but I'm very busy. Cortath, the owner of this shop. He traveled north to try to find some grey mold for some sort of salve. Healing, not my area. If you're looking for him, he probably visited Philia in Fort Draco. Ask her about him. Philia is quiet, and she can be hard to find, but mention I sent you and she'll help. She says all of this quickly, while grinding some sort of yellow powder. Okay. So in Avernum, Philia probably won't talk to us until we've talked to Xanthia. She looks up at you again, and this time, strangely, you see a glimmer of fear in her eyes. I can't tell you why, I'm afraid, but suffice it to say this is a time of great urgency in the tower. She returns to work. I know 2 recipes which might be useful to you. I can teach you how to make Balm of Life and Hasting Elixir, 2 very useful potions. Let me know if you'd like to buy them. Balm of Life actually can be really useful if someone is dead. Kind of want Hasting Elixir. I don't know how much I would really be making potions in this game. Xanthia can teach a wide variety of potion recipes. Also, her name is spelled either Xanthia or Xathnia. Exile and Avernum are not always great on that kind of consistency. Unfortunately, most of her recipes do things like cure boils on giant lizards or ease cave chafing. Only 2 of the recipes could be useful to you. I'll buy Balm of Life now. Might come back for Hasting Elixir if I haven't spent all of my money on spells later. Speaking of... You meet a powerfully built man wearing spotless white robes. A huge mace hangs at his belt. Yes, I am a servant of the true way. I provide guidance and occasionally protection to my brothers who work here for the good of Avernum. I also greet pilgrims to this place. Many come to this place for guidance, and I am often one of those they come to. I can teach people a wide variety of spells. Yay! He suddenly becomes nervous, very strange for a person of his obvious power. Yes, well, a mage's life can be a dangerous one, and there are certain forces I can be of extra assistance in controlling. He seems unwilling to say more. You look like a holy man of great power. Can you teach us any of the really powerful priestly rituals? I might. I sense great things in you. I would like to help, but I need help in return. There is an item I wish to forge one day, and to do that, I need an anvil. A huge anvil. If you can tell me the location of the largest anvil in Avernum, I will teach you. So I guess we'll have to visit Fort Draco and then come back. Priest spells. Prices are kind of expensive. Oh, you don't teach Divine Fire, darn it. Hi there, Cadu Lopez of Oliveira. I'm in the Tower of Magi buying some new spells, and unfortunately, I want to learn Divine Fire, but I can't here. Safe travel, though, is quite useful. That will allow me to safely travel over things like swamp and even lava. Summon Shade is okay, I'm probably not going to use it much. Yeah, sure, let's make Smite better. And mass healing and curing, definitely useful. Hi, Leafy Nebula, thanks for joining. And why is my game slightly frozen? Oh, that's why. There are several comfortable, unused beds in this room. You could probably get a few hours of uninterrupted rest here if you wanted. Meh, don't need to. Seriously, why is my numpad not working right now? It's just the diagonals on my numpad. That's weird. And by diagonals, I mean the ones that let me move around in straight lines, because isometric games are weird like that. You see a pale, homely young woman, maybe 16 or 17. She wears the robes of an apprentice. She doesn't say anything. She's under some sort of vow of silence. You notice, however, that she looks extremely nervous. She seems to want to say something to you, but can't. Okay, I'm going to pause the stream and see if I can fix this issue. Okay, toggling numlock seems to have fixed it. Hooray for easy, simple fixes. Ooh, books? Books that I can learn from, perhaps? The book describes a number of obscure and not very interesting magical artifacts. The bookmark is at a page describing something called a blessed athame. It's an enchanted knife, incredibly durable and sharp. A note in the margin mentions that one of these knives rests in hiding in the Tower of Magi. Potentially useful information, that. This book is on various sorts of summonings and bindings. It's quite hard to read, however, as many pages have been torn out, and most of the rest of them have been defaced by spilled ink. On the last page, you notice that someone has written the words, Adsakai? Madness. Strange. You take note of the name. These are the quarters for the apprentices of the tower. There are sleeping cubicles all along the north wall. It's very quiet here. The students have to take a vow of silence for the first 2 years of their study. And yet I can still try to talk to them. You see a young apprentice mage. He's very young, barely a teen. He watches you silently. He shrugs. Despite your efforts, he refuses to say anything. He must be under some sort of vow of silence. I wonder if those vows of silence are magically enforced. I feel like one of the games probably did mention that somewhere. here is a classroom with someone that can actually teach me something. This is a small lecture hall, intended for a very small number of students. A board on the north wall has frightening, arcane symbols. Here, many of the brightest Avernites are taught magic. This is a remarkable thing, considering that on the surface, very few people are allowed any access to magic, and even then, only after they have sworn dire oaths of loyalty to the Empire. This is a scroll of Create Illusions, which is not mine, but there's no one around, so I could totally steal it if I wanted. This room is cluttered with an astonishing variety of flasks, mortars, pestles, jars of small body parts, and other alchemical devices. Things bubble, smoke, and occasionally explode. This is a magical laboratory for apprentice magicians, and thus a very dangerous place to be. There you are. Embrin. An old man putters about this laboratory. Sometimes he seems senile, sometimes alert. I and Koenig are the day-to-day teachers of the tower. I have been a teacher for many years. You can buy spells if you want. He chuckles. Don't ask the students for help. They are forbidden to speak without permission. It's part of their training. Koenig and I look after them, teach them magic, and discipline them as necessary. He's away, looking for some sort of crystal cave. Don't know anything about it. He said he was going to Kotra, I think. Pity he is away. He's the one who teaches a lot of our potion-making classes. If you see him, ask him about it. Who knows? Maybe you could learn something. Do you have any other administrative jobs for the schools? Or anything we could help with? For money? Or magic? As a matter of fact, there is an infestation of ogres nearby. They keep eating our students. Kill the ogre mage which leads them, and I'll teach you a valuable spell. They live to the northwest. You may want to be careful, though. It may be a somewhat difficult foe. Can buy some spells. I haven't actually been using unlocked doors all that much. Most of the doors that I come across that are locked that I want to get into, I've been able to pick. Not all of them, though. Ooh, yes, lightning spray. Definitely want that. And I'll take a level of Farsight. And pretty soon I'm going to need more money. Nothing interesting on the shelves here. Don't feel like searching all the boxes. Another little corner library. Oh no, someone's loose change went missing. Yeah, most of the time when there's this many shelves around, there's not actually anything interesting on most of them. Salutations, I love it. Hi, Lee Davis, thanks for coming in. Okay, so there was absolutely nothing of note in that library. And you're one of the apprentices I've already tried talking to. What else? I suspect that the doors to the triad bedrooms here are all magically locked. Okay, and there is a little storeroom back here. But there's also a rather empty chunk of map in this corner. And I can't really do much with this for now. Actually, I can talk to Kellner again. Ha, are you contemplating the Hakai Lord? He turns, relieved. Yes, you are not from the tower, so you might be trustworthy. He speaks quickly, looking constantly for eavesdroppers. A powerful creature has been brought here, and it may escape any day. It all started when Sulberg of the Triad left. It is my hope that if he is alerted, disaster may be averted. When did Sulberg leave? He went away a year ago. I don't know why. He was my friend and looked after me. And he said if ever he was needed, instructions for where to find him were left in a hidden cave east of here. I can't go find him, but maybe travelers such as you can. His message is in a secret tunnel northeast of here, inscribed on a twisted black pillar of stone. Please find him. If the Hakai Lord escapes, horrid, horrid things will happen. Well, that sounds pretty serious. Okay, well, with what I remember of the tower layout here... There we go. Hidden library. With a hidden wizard. You see a strange man, middle-aged, calm and confident. He has a staff, carved in the shape of a cobra. He's completely lost in thought. So much so that it seems an effort for him to talk to you. Hello, what are you doing here? Lately I've been researching a new spell which would make an anvil drop on someone's head, even from a long distance. It would be a wondrous spell. I wouldn't have a chance to find it without this library. Mostly, though, I teach. This library is one of the many gifts of Erica Redmark, about whom the less said, the better. What do you teach? Powerful spells, but I've been busy lately, and haven't time to do any teaching now. He thinks. But wait, we could trade. I've heard rumors that somewhere in Avernum there's a place called Barga that has a small library. Find it. It would be a great help in researching my anvil-flinging spell. I'll make you a trade. You tell me where the library is, and I'll teach you spells. Okay, that'll take me a little while to find. Yes, I, Linda, and Sulberg rule the tower. However, I've been busy, and Sulberg is away, so it's mainly Linda that's in charge. I wonder what she's been doing. Teach. Yes, I like to teach. Aha. Well, that's an interesting little difference. In Exile, he would teach spells if we tell him who has the biggest anvil in Avernum, which is Bautel. But here, he wants something a little harder to find. I hope his spells are worth it. Tea break. Well, since it's right here, I think I feel like taking on some ogres. Hi there, boys. Ooh, I love flaming weapons. 1 damage? What? You're not supposed to be that tough. Oh, now that I've upgraded Smite, I can multi-target. Very nice. Better. Also, far sight adds area to the auto map. I don't remember if I can use it outdoors. I doubt it. The ogres are raising giant lizards, no doubt for food. Or at least food to eat when no tasty humans are available. Lizards aren't really worth lightning spray. And they're feeding the lizards on captured humans, apparently. Always fun when a mage gets a melee kill in. Thank you, Plume. Stone Javelin's not worth picking up. Torches, just in case I don't want to spend spell points on light. At this point, leather armor probably isn't even worth looking at unless it's enchanted. So, that's not actually an ogre, that is a cave giant. We don't really get a speed boost with lighter armor. Heavy armor can make you lose 1 out of 4 action points. Kinda wish I had a curse instead of just blessing. And it sounds like the cave giant just drank a haste potion. Yikes! It will be so good when I get mass haste. And you're dead. Hello. Strength potion. Sure, why not? good, just a regular ogre. Yeah, I have Gytha up front so that she can get a few more levels. That is only kind of a good idea if she's missing that much. Jay, do you have any healing potions? You got a lot of healing potions. Oh, a bunch of you. I am getting a ridiculously high number of targets for ice lances. Probably shouldn't be wasting spell points on smites right now. But it's just so nice having smite be actually useful. Oh, he's running away. Oh, wait, there's more enemies. Pretty tough snakes. Asps, in fact. I think if I realized I was fighting asps, I wouldn't have had Gytha go it solo. And of course, all of the food the ogres have on hand is weird meat. Because, of course, it's all people. Why are there so many of you? Yeah, it makes sense that a channel with the initials ASP would have a snake as a logo. Asp is indeed a very venomous breed of snake. This cave is a rough privy. A pit by the wall leads down to unimaginable, stinky horrors. Great. Actually, I am going to use Farsight. Ooh, that's a sound effect. But yeah, just to confirm that there's nothing else over here. This room is an ogre larder. Dispirited Nephilim sit on filthy beds, waiting for the end. It's very depressing. After a time, the few that can still move stagger out of the cave and escape. Even though these creatures generally hate humans, these weak prisoners are able to do little more than hiss at you as they stagger by. Now, that's awful if they're not just keeping dead bodies around, but also keeping live bodies in state of squalor like this. Hey, you are not an ogre. You meet a human prisoner in ragged robes. He seems thrilled to see you. I was an apprentice mage. Now I'm a prisoner of the ogres. They captured me when I was fleeing the tower. The Tower of Magi to the southeast. I was once an apprentice there. You know, just in case your adventuring party hasn't already been to the Tower of Magi. Once, the tower was a great place of learning. Then it changed and I fled. There are true horrors there now. Eeg, even worse than risking ogres. He shivers and winces. I only heard rumors, but the way people acted made me believe that they were true. He looks from side to side, as if afraid someone would be watching. I heard they were going to summon a Hakai. He winces at the sound of the word. The mightiest race of demons, fierce and deadly. Utter foolishness to try and summon one. Worse still to try to control it. I heard they were going to lure it to the tower, using a powerful magic item as bait. I tell you, it's bad here, but there I was afraid for my soul. Yikes. If you ever go to the Tower of Magi, be very careful. Things just aren't right there. Oh, I think I already asked about that. Do you still have any of your magical abilities? Yes, I still have some modest powers. I plan to use them in my escape. I managed to find a secret passage in this cave. Who knows why the ogres don't know about it? It leads to water. I plan to slip away and swim for it before they devoured me. Brutish thugs. They wouldn't have all this. He waves toward the rest of the fort, if the ogre mage wasn't providing the brains. Very dangerous, and it lives near here. I don't want to try to escape until it's dead. Otherwise, it could easily track me with its magic. If you kill it, please let me know, so that I may flee for my life. Okay. So yes, this is a game that I've played before. I've played the original Exile trilogy, as well as Blades of Exile. I've played the old Avernum trilogy, and I've played the Avernum remake trilogy. So I've played through this game effectively 3 times. More than that, because of course I've played some of the games more than once. And I pretty much started doing Let's Plays because video Let's Plays of Exile did not exist, and I wanted them to. And from there I branched out to doing other Mat games that I enjoyed in my childhood, playing some newer platformers that I enjoy in my adulthood. Nope, no relation to Path of Exile. The first Exile game came out in about 1995-ish, I want to say. I don't know how old Path of Exile is. Thanks, Dawn Rider. Oh, collection of skulls. Yay. I feel like my voice is starting to give out a little bit, so I might end end this stream once I'm done with the dungeon here. You find a scroll which explains how to cast Farsight level 3. Oh, cool. As you read the words, you find yourself mumbling a few of them aloud. Strange, you didn't mean to do that. Suddenly you notice a bug on your arm. Then another, and then a few more. And then all of you start to see bugs crawling all over you. They don't bite or anything, they just crawl. In your minds, you know they're not real. That doesn't help you keep control, however. You feel completely terrified. Oh, great. And the icon for the terrified status effect is a chicken. And just in time to find the ogre mage. So Jay's a little bit distracted right now. And Magrat is not the strongest fighter at the moment. Gytha is not the strongest fighter. Magrat isn't the strongest fighter either. Yeah, Jeff is really good at the text descriptions. Oh yeah, ogre mages tend to be magic resistant. Not resistant to getting speared in the face. You slay the powerful ogre magi, the leader of this ogre fortress. Without his controlling influence, these chaotic creatures will no doubt wander away. This fort will be much less of a threat now. Only a level 2 ogre menace. Jeweled ring does nothing but will sell for a bunch of money. Scroll of Summon Shade. I tend not to rely very much on summons. Historical Scroll. Someone might want that. I don't know who yet, but someone will pay money for that. Was there a boat over here? I could have sworn there was a boat. Here we go. Yes. Oh boy, more snakes. Yeah, some DLCs can be fun, but I agree with microtransactions really ruining a lot of it. I've gotten into a few mobile games, and one of the ones I play, I respect that they don't run ads, but man, do I get annoyed at how much they want me to spend money for items that really won't make much of a difference. Tell, don't show exactly, because we didn't have enough graphical power to show all the things we wanted. use summons when I can use those spell points to just blast the ever-living crap out of everything. Yeah, retro console games are certainly popular. I don't stream them because I never played them. I didn't have a console. I had a Macintosh. So my gaming options were limited. Unidentified leather armor. Mind crystal. And some treasures. Okay, pretty decent loot. Except for the poor furs. Oh, 0% chance. And it broke my pick, you jerk. But that means that Ez needs an energy potion because I can't pick this lock without magic. That was a healing potion. That's an energy potion. Yay. This spell isn't powerful enough to affect this door. Arg! So with all of the Exile games, I'm emulating macOS 9. This one, I am playing the GOG.com version on my PC. So I guess it's got a wrapper that allows it to run on current Windows systems. And when I play most of my Steam games, I'm using the gaming PC as well. So, hey dude, good news. The Ogre Mage is dead. Wonderful. At last, it's safe for me to escape. Before I go, I should give you a warning about the Tower of Magi. Being adventurers, I figured you'd go there. And then he just goes back into the dialogue tree of, oh no, Hakai Lord. And he doesn't actually disappear, but maybe he'll be gone if we come back in. Oh yeah, the exploration in the Spiderweb games is so great. Especially Exile / Avernum. Let's see. I need to remember which of my characters is in the front row. Killed that Ogre Mage. Well done. The apprentices in the future who don't get devoured will have much to thank you for. Good for you. Good luck to you in your future travels. Will you teach me that magic spell you promised? Magrat learns level 3 shielding. Hooray, I guess. Oh, yes, I did promise to teach you a magical spell. I suppose I'd better follow through. Okay, shielding level 3. Stronger shield, and at the highest level, other useful benefits. Doesn't say that level 3 will shield everyone. Maybe there's a mass shielding later on. Now there's Sanctuary. F-Air. Okay, I've got some more money. I've also got a few things I can take to Brantford for identification and or selling. Rod of Minor Call. Where did I pick that up? Call Beast is not that great, really. Now that I've got Smite, I would rather have more money than 2 Wands of Bolts. Honestly, I don't remember if anyone specifically wants historical scrolls, or if they're just something I can sell anywhere for money. Wand of Lightning, good. Wand of Slowing, not bad. Rod of Minor Call, no thank you. Scroll of Ice Lances will probably be crappier than just casting it myself. Mind Crystal of Berserker. Hehehe. So I can teach one of my other characters how to berserk. And this is Rose Leather. It has good defense for leather armor and increases your chance of picking locks and disarming traps. I would be much more interested in that if I didn't have a ridiculously high tool use skill on Gytha. Godspeed, you cat empress. Thanks, Lee Davis. I love it. But since Gytha is my secondary warrior and she doesn't have the berserk ability... Jay does, by the way. As you stare deep into the mind crystal, you start to hear strange, whispering voices in your mind. The words are barely audible, but they seem to be trying to teach you something. You concentrate, and you start to get an impression of what ability the item is trying to teach you. Go berserk! You can cause yourself to go berserk, increasing your effectiveness in combat, while enabling your foes to hit you more easily. This ability works once per day. The higher your level, the better the effect. Oh, so it gives me a description of the ability and then confirmation of whether I want to use it. Woohoo! And now Gytha can also berserk. Meanwhile, Magrat and Esme cannot berserk, but they do have a chance of making potions. I might keep the Rose Leather around just a little while. Descriptions Oh! Oh, I guess it's because I have Steam set to... Or I have OBS set to window capture instead of display capture. Oops. It's not a horrible thing. I am learning so much of how to do live streaming through doing it and finding all the different little ways you can mess it up. Ooh, a pretty decent amount of gold. Let's go buy more spells. I have a good amount of gold. Let's fix that by buying spells. I will buy another level of unlocked doors. Do I want to make Esme even more overpowered with more lightning spray? Yeah, personally, I love Let's Players who read out all of the dialogue and description stuff, because I enjoy putting things on as background noise, or just being distracted and looking away for several minutes at a time. So I don't want to have to watch the screen at all times to know what's going on. Summon Shade would be more tempting if I did more summons. I haven't been using mass healing and curing that much so far, but I know I will eventually. I can relate to having a lot of Avernum memorized. Also, how are people doing on skill points? Jay has a few, McGrath has a few, Esme has some. I should maybe do some training eventually. Let's see, can't do anything more in the Tower of Magi because I don't have Dispel Barrier. I kind of want to see if I can unlock that one door so I don't forget about it. Now let's see if the boat spawns back in its original spot, or if it's where I left it. You're still here. You should be gone. Come on, I left the boat here for you and everything. What do you mean I need level 3 unlocked doors? I don't even remember where I get level 3 unlocked doors. Alright. I should really stop pretty soon. I'm running out of steam, but there's one more little area around here I can do. You find one of the areas of intense geothermal activity which keep Avernum warm and alive. The heat from these natural vents feeds the plants and keeps you from freezing to death. As you enter, you think you hear loud, angry shrieks to the south. It must be your imagination. What sort of creature would want to live in this unpleasant area? I'm sure I can handle this. You encounter several imps who've been enjoying the hellish volcanic heat. These foul creatures love to devour unwary travelers. Like you. Yeah, imps are just annoying. Are imps magic resistant? I'm pretty sure they are immune to fire. You'll notice that the flaming sword didn't proc on them. Yep, demons are immune to fire. Not immune to steel. Yeah. Okay, so there is a little ledge over there. Not sure what the best path to that is, really. Let's see if safe travel lets me walk on lava. Yes! Excellent. On this broad ledge over the lava, you see a remarkable sight. Clearly, there was a battle here of horrifying magnitude. However, the battle is not over. It has been magically frozen in place. The battle was between humans, mainly wizards, and demons. The demons outnumber the humans, most of whom are dead. A fireball hangs over them in midair, motionless. How the battle is going, however, is entirely moot. The combatants stand utterly still. A thick layer of soot covers them. While the human forces are in ruins, one person catches your attention. He was a mage, perhaps, lying at the border of the frozen area. Clutched in his hand is a crystal wand. So I can leave, swipe the wand, or explore the area. But swiping the wand and exploring, I think, will give me basically the same result. You carefully move forward, trying to look around while staying as far away from the demons as possible. Unfortunately, the moment you get close enough to look, the battle comes back to life. The demons take only a moment to finish off the pathetic human resistance, and then they turn on you. Before they attack, however, you do manage to grab the wand. So I get one wand and also a bunch of demons. That's a lot of summons. And they've slowed me, which is annoying. Yeah, I'll summon my own shade, why not? I don't get to pick where my summons go. Oh yeah, gardening, getting chores done, that's all very good, very productive. A little bit more than I've done today. And my spirit's already dead. Great. Oh, you slowed me again, you jerks. This is way too many enemy spellcasters. So I'm low on health, that's bad. There's a little icon here, and I'm not sure what that is. It might be because I got shielding level 3 that I'm now shielded and also magic resistant. I'll have to look that up later. Fortunately for me, mass healing. I knew I'd need that. Okay, so I can spend more time and energy hasting myself, but if I'm going to get slowed anyway... Actually, if I've got one more movement AP... Oh, that doesn't get me any closer to the demons. Or maybe the field is so cluttered up with targets that I can't target more of the demons until I get rid of more of the garbage. Okay, this is gonna take a while. Especially if I have to keep using my priest to heal instead of doing much in the way of buffs. I can only target one of the spellcasters. It is a very good thing I saved before coming in here. I think I am going to quit the game and come back later. I may come back to this fight when I have a few more levels, or better spells, or better strategies. But for now, this is as good a stopping point as any. And here's a thought. So I've been doing live streams for every 100 subscriber milestone, and a couple of other fun ones like 777. I was going to do 750, but it was 770 before I knew it. Apparently people really like when Salliekat plays Doom. But anyway, I've been thinking, since Avernum 4 remake just got announced, the Kickstarter isn't live yet, but it'll be coming soon. That means that the Avernum 4 remake will be available to play probably within the next year and a half, 2 years. And I want to have a finished playthrough of at least one Avernum game before that happens. So I'm thinking I might start up doing a weekly or every other week stream of Avernum just because. Probably Thursdays. So later this week, I might see y'all again. And actually talk to you. Yay, I'm glad Doom is bringing in people, and not just new fans, but new fans who also like the Avernums. So Doom is going to continue to be on a whenever I feel like it basis. Also, since Bethesda did the new update, I'm not entirely sure how mods are going to work with that. Apparently I need to make an account with Bethesda.com to install Bethesda-approved mods. We'll see when or if I do any mod stuff with Doom. I might not. Whatever. I'm sure there are plenty of other YouTubers and Twitch streamers covering Doom material, so I won't feel too bad about not doing what everybody wants. But thanks so much everyone for tuning in, and I will see you again later. Have a good night.